This is Gregory Shelton from Historic Living, Modern World. In a lot of the videos that I've done in the past, I've been riding my motorcycle. And a lot of people have reached out to me asking me information about my bikes. And today I'm on a Triumph Thruxton, which is my everyday bike. It is a British motorcycle. It's called a Triumph Thruxton. There's a track by the name of Thruxton in Hampshire, England. Now this bike is Triumph's offering of what they call a modern classic. So basically what it is it's a throwback to a late 60s bike which Triumph produced. Triumph won 3. It's an endurance ride as the Thruxton. It won the top 3 awards. So Triumph picked that time frame to do a modern classic from that, which again, it was an endurance bike, but it was also a speed bike. So again, as you can tell, this is kind of the predecessor of the endurance and speed bikes that we see now.
This bike is also considered a cafe racer. In the 60s in England, it was fashionable for the rockers to put on a record in a cafe, get on your motorbike, get it up to 100 miles per hour, and return to the cafe before the record was completed.
You'll see the low set of the a low clip-on style handlebars, which again puts you in a racing stance. So when you're down, the aerodynamics are there. It allows you for a speed experience. And again, when you're crouched down, as we normally see with a lot of Japanese style bikes, this is a 900. So the bike that it's modeled after in the 60s would only be a 650, although it would be boarded out and much faster. A 650 would be the engine size, maybe even a 500 depending on what model of a Thruxton they would have used. But this Triumph would have been a fast bike for that time frame, but it would be around a 500 to 650 cc. This bike is what they would call parallel twin, which is what you would have had in those time frames. So from a speed perspective, it was probably the fastest bike, one of the fastest bikes you're going to get from that time frame. And these are still fast bikes today, but they're really not designed around massive speed. They're really a throwback to the design and the look of these things. The styling of this bike, to me, I think Triumph physically nailed it. The first modern classic Thruxton came out in 2004, which again, from a styling perspective, man, I get stopped all the time on this bike. And although I own a 1964 BSA 500cc, this bike really gets a lot of head turns, and everyone always asks me whether this is an old throwback bike, and I'm happy to say personally that although it has the stylings of a mid to late 60s bike, I don't have to worry about kick-starting it. I don't have to worry about tickling the carbs. To me, this is, you get out, you start it up, and you go. Although there's a lot of novelty in that, and I can understand what that's about, and I do enjoy that, but ultimately, it's about riding. So for me, it's about getting on the road and going. So this thing is it's an incredibly great machine. So thanks and kudos to the guys at Triumph for creating an amazing bike that holds up to today's standards. But man, this damn thing looks like it'd be put back in the 60s and ride like crazy.
For me, riding a motorcycle is about getting out on the open road. I'd be lying if I didn't say the daring is part of it. It is. But the risk is part of the reward. I also love how it clears your mind on a stressful day. I don't think I'll ever stop riding. Onward. Make your goal to always live your best life. This is Gregory Shelton with Historic Living, Modern World.